Okay, so hello everyone from Phoenix. I'm Baron from MTech Taiwan, and we are also Intel IoT Solution Alliance, which will comply HIPAA. HIPAA is the American regulation for the hospital information transfer and management. So as you may know, MTech is focused on the smart healthcare, and smart healthcare is a part of the smart city, as soon as it should, including a lot of IoT, IoT devices. So we founded around 5 years ago, and most of our team is come from some related company like Advantech, like this IPC, like Air Value, something like the IPC company. So around 5 years ago, we helped the first and still the best total smart hospital in Taiwan to build. And we assume that it's also the best smart hospital in Asia. And during these years, we are not only developing some hospital case, we also get involved some robots and won some national prize in Taiwan. And right now we are trying to share our experience to worldwide, like China, Asian country. And right now we already have some partner in Thailand, Vietnam, Hong Kong, Singapore, even US. So let's go into the topic we are going to discuss, the vital signs station. Actually, this is a kiosk. You can imagine that we built a kiosk and a platform. This platform will integrate with a lot of medical devices. Since we are not a really medical devices manufacturer, so we cooperate with the common hardware, which is already approved by the local FDA. So, for example, we are like the blood pressure machine. We cooperate with Omron. And what we do is we build a platform and connect all the devices through the API. You can imagine that there's many different kind of hardware. So we just need to get their API, know their firmware, and connect all the data. And sometimes we can assign some action to this hardware. And then we combine all the devices on our platform. This platform with a PC will install on a kiosk, like the picture you saw. So it is a all-in-one kiosk. But not only this one, we can have a different type, like a desktop type, separated type, even mobile type, to fit in different scenario. Okay, so the idea is something like this one. We have a hardware right here. The user can get to the kiosk or get to the hardware and perform the medical test, and all the tests will be and all the action will be memorized and sent to the cloud. And this cloud could be our cloud in the public space, and in the hospital it will become a private cloud located in the hospital server, and then it will integrate into hospital information system, which is the backbone of the hospital. And then you can use this digital data to doing some other application, like send to the mobile phone, even send to some customer relation database to perform some like a personal broadcasting or personal like push some coupon to you. Actually, this idea we come from the first biggest supermarket in Taiwan, PX Mart. We discussed with them around 4 to 5 years ago, and at that time we are trying to use a kiosk put into the public area. So actually, in the first beginning, this idea is not applied for the hospital. It is in some of the supermarket, like in the condominium, like in the public space. But deploy a lot of kiosks in the public space is a huge work. So we decided to go to the hospital at the first beginning. So you can see in the next page, we have some UI for this one. Right now, we have a Chinese content, English content, and since we also sell to Thailand and Vietnam, so we also have a Thai version content and Vietnamese content. So we have a combined UI. There's some instruction, including not only text, but also video and audio. So the user can operate this by themselves. Actually, some people might ask, is the user really can do that with this solution? But with the experience in Taiwan, we even put into the hospital public space. And as you may know, Taiwan actually is an age country, and we try to put this kiosk in some rural area, like a small town, which population is more than 20% is over 70 years old, and the grandpa, the grandma still can use it by themselves. So I assume that's quite easy for everyone, since there's an audio, video, and some text introduction. Yeah. So with this one, we have a procedure. We can guidance the user to do it. All the user need to do is enter their ID card. In Taiwan, we use national insurance card. In Thailand, for example, they have their own citizen ID card, which will contain a lot of information. So in this case, they can just enter the card in our card readers. So the system will know who you are and what your if you registered in the hospital yet or not. And in some case, for example, in Vietnam, they don't have a really digital ID card right now. So there's some ways. For example, in some hospital, they have their own membership card. We can also integrate with their system, and but we can also integrate with some facial recognition and blood vein recognition functions to identify the patient, identify the users. So once the patient or the user is identified, so they can access and use this machine. So as it show you, there's some guidance, there's a result, and then when all the test is finished, they will pop out a result page like this one. And of course, we have some remind if there's some problem. For example, for this guy's PMI is too high, so there's a different color. And all the data will send back to the cloud, which might be the hospital information system. And we can also have some report server. And you can see here, there's a QR code reports linked here. So the user can also scan the QR code report and to get their own data. And this can doing some more application. For example, as we mentioned in the first beginning, we want to collaborate with the supermarket. So in this case, if the supermarket have their own application, they can register, they can scan a QR code, and of course, you need to authorize the supermarket or the application to get the information first. Normally, they will design in the procedure of the application. Okay, and then the user can get all the data, and also the owner of the application can also get data, so they can promote some activity. They can send some coupon for them. If, for example, if my BMI is too high, they can send some coupon of the healthy food or something like that to us. So it can also become a online to offline platform, an access point for this application. Okay, with same idea, but with different hardware. We not only in the public space, we cooperate with the telecom company, and this idea they're very interesting. So they want to utilize this idea to home care or everybody's home. So this you can imagine that actually is the same platform, and we install in an application, which might be a tablet, and they will send to everybody's home, and they will can use the Bluetooth connection to the alert home care level devices. So it will become a home care terminal on your desktop terminal, and it will integrate a lot of devices like we will introduce it in the next page, like this one. This one is also a hardware manufactured by our shareholders. You can see this is quite special. The size is really tiny. You can see from here, the module is like a hand size. And in this picture, actually, including 3 different modules. The first module should, like this one, is a blood pressure detector. The second one is blood test. This blood test have 3 sub-functions. The first one is common blood sugar test. The second one is the total cholesterol. And the third one is urine acid. So we can test everybody's blood with these tiny devices. And the last one, another list, is an ECG detector. And the single one is the single one lead, and actually you can add on some splitter to become 3-lead ECG test. So with this compact design, and this terminal, not only the tablet, but also can, of course, you can install on a cell phone. So it will become a home care kit, quite tiny, and with the telecom company, they can sell or they can rent to their customer. So normal story is something like this one. For example, in Taiwan, we have some special promotion telecom budget. For example, if you purchase or register a service like you pay $100, sorry, $10 per month, and you can add on, there are some add-on service. So sometimes the add-on service, the common one is they have the discount for your cell phone, but sometimes they want to utilize this idea into their promotion package. So if you don't want to choose the discount for your cell phone, you can also choose like this one, add-on service for the healthcare home care kit. So they will provide a home care kit to you, and if you pay, for example, in Taiwan, I remember they pay around $5 per month, so you can have a personal call to some caregivers, and they will have some limit time and to discuss with you and to check your status weekly. So the idea is something like this one. We have a different vital sign series, like the interactive type, all-in-one type, and desktop type, and some mobile type you will see. As I mentioned, that they can send to the healthcare platform. We name HCC platform, and depends on the application, and can be installed on public space, public cloud, and it can also install in some private cloud, like in a hospital. So we use this one to communicate with the real data server. In a hospital, it will become the hospital information system, needs information system, or in some application that for example, we send to we also apply this service to elderly center. So normally at the elderly center, the size is not that big. Maybe they were separated in different building. Each elderly center maybe have around 50 beds or 70 bed, 60 beds, something like this size. So this service can also install on the public cloud. And of course, we have the API and to communication, so we can also send to some personal application to perform other service. So yeah, we change into another one to show how we did. Actually, you can imagine that as here, we solve a lot of integration actually to communicate with the hardware through different type, different brand, will be a little bit hard work, something like this one. So we can integrate we finish all the firmware work, and then we send to the cloud, and with our platform, which you might already see, we're doing some edge analytical personal information collection. Of course, we add on some camera and video, audio service so we can perform the telemedicine. And we even try to add some AI consultant panel. For example, if you access this kiosk, when you finish all the tests, for example, in the hospital, they will ask you what's your problem. So you can answer, and will answer, depends on what you answer, and keep asking you some other question. So you become a registration centers, a registration kiosk. Now, instead of not only the medical device test, but also some registration, curing information, and then this all because it's all medical data should be fit the security or the HIPAA regulation, as I mentioned in the first beginning. So after all this, we send to the cloud, and we can doing a lot of service like this one. We can doing some digital vital sign data collection, health report, health advisory, and of course the most benefit part is some medication suggestion or marketing activities. So there's some solution benefit and problem solving. Normally, in a hospital or in the public space of a hospital, waiting and queuing too much long time is a common problem. So, for example, in Taiwan, the big hospital, normally when you go to the hospital, you need to wait at the lobby maybe at least half hours. I assume the situation is more critical in some public space in Asian country, like in Vietnam. I visited the Chore Hospital in Ho Chi Minh City, the biggest public hospital in Ho Chi Minh City. And there's a really many people waiting in the public space. And there's some study to research that what is the common and average time, waiting time in the Vietnamese public hospital. The result I remember is nearly 100 minutes each person average. And through the FDA United States regulation, they recommend is every people when they go to the hospital, they need to the best waiting time should be less than 30 minutes. So you can imagine that is how huge difference. So no matter, no wonder that a lot of people are thinking about, they don't want to go to hospital since they need to wait and waste a lot of time at that space. So we are thinking about two things. One, how can we make the waiting time more useful? And the second one, how can we curing these people in the proper way? So there comes this kiosk can do these things. First, we can use this kiosk we put in the public space, like this picture we show it here. So when the patient is waiting, they can register this kiosk by themselves and perform the vital sign data test in advance. Since this is a must-do procedures when go to see the doctors, so we don't want to ask. The original way is that, for example, the patient, when they go through the doctor clinic, the doctor will perform some tests for them. Or in the past, they also have some self-service centers, right, in the public space. The patient can still operate by themselves. However, all the data is analog or only show on this device. So the patient or the user need to memorize all the data by themselves and go to the clinic and tell the doctors. So the information is usually get lost or wrong. So we want to change this situation. That's why we utilize this kiosk in the hospital at the first beginning, because it's a common request and common problem in the hospital. So we can use it for the self-service, with user identification, all the information collection, and all the data was sent to the hospital server automatically. And then not only get the vital data, we can also integrate with the curing system. Since we already doing the identification, so the system, this kiosk is linked to hospital information system, so actually the hospital can know who is coming. For example, with one case we're doing in Samut Prakan Hospital, Thailand, and if you register in this hospital, when we go to hospital, you can use their ID card, insert to this kiosk. The kiosk will link to the hospital information system and to tell the system, oh, okay, this patient is going to register. And then they will send back what is there about their health insurance status and everything on this kiosk. So before the user perform the medical test, they can also get some review about his status. Okay, and then so it will become a integrate a lot of application, and it's very suitable in hospital. But we can also not only in the hospital but also can in the public space like a supermarket and like a condominium. And actually, as I mentioned, we already promote this kiosk in Southeast Asia countries, and there's some big company like a CP Group in Thailand, like Vin Group in Vietnam. They are also very interested about this idea since they are a very big company which own not only hospital but also some retail shops. So yeah, we are also discuss this idea before COVID. Yeah, but since right now I'm not sure, it's a little bit postponed with COVID. And we have also some potential competitor from China named Ping An Good Doctors. Yeah, actually they're doing same idea with us. They have a vital sign kiosk station. People can get into here, perform the telemedicine, and the procedure is that, of course, the first one they need to register identification, doing some tests, for example, blood pressure, temperature, and then with the camera on the kiosk, they can perform the telemedicine, which is exactly the same as us. And then after all the tests, they can get some QR code or coupon or some prescription. So they can use this prescription, this QR code, to the pharmacy or to the dispensing machine next to get the medicine. So there's roughly ideas and something like that. And there's another application with same platform but in different scenario is during this COVID time, and there's some quarantine work requirement. And as you know, in the current in the COVID situation, all the medical resource is not enough for everyone. So in Taiwan, the hospital asked us if we can help them with our platform. So this is a very special case. We finished this scenario around 2 weeks. We use the existing platform and install on a tablet. As you may already see, we can install it on a tablet and put this tablet on a easy medical trolley. So in the quarantine world, the nurse, the doctor don't really get into this world. They can ask some staff, push this trolley to every patient's bedside. So they can measure all the vital signs through this trolley. There's some home care level blood pressure machine, temperature machine, and oximeters. And all the data is connected to the tablet. So there's a problem. Original as a patient monitoring is not enough for everyone. So we can use this one, home care kit, to solve this problem. And we can also perform the telemedicine. I would say call it inpatient telemedicine because actually the doctor is just in the clinic, maybe right next door, but doctor don't want to get into the world since if they need to go inside the world, they need to wear a quarantine suit, which might be very tedious work. So we can use this with same idea and with a platform to do the perform the telemedicine, inpatient telemedicine. So again, the idea is something like this one. We connect a lot of things to different hardware to the platform to do that. So there's some work we already did. As I mentioned, we sell this one to Thailand, Vietnam, Yeah, so there's some case since I'm a business developer who is in charge in Asian countries. So let's mostly show what we did in Asian country. So you can see this is our vital sign kiosk in Chiang Rai, Overbrook, Thailand, the northern part of Thailand. And this one is in the Bangkok. It's the Bangkok Christian Hospital. And we also cooperate with some ODM case, and that partner can see that you use our kiosk to go to the Vietnam local TV show Shark Tank Season 3. And I assume that they get 700,000 US dollars funding from this TV show to get their 20% stock share. Yeah, so right now this company is worth than 3 million US dollars. And there's some case in Vietnam hospital. So this is roughly my introduction, and we are talking about a vital sign kiosk, which have some instruction about the use and with audio, video, so it can apply not only in the hospital. Of course, right now our first most common user is a hospital, but not only hospital, it can also be installed in the public space. And we connect all the integration function, API, firmware, and also the patient or user identification function. So with this platform, the user can register to perform the test, and then the data will send to the cloud. So the operator, like the CP group or the Wing group I mentioned, the operator can cooperate with the hospital and perform the telemedicine service through this hardware. And with that information, since all the action and the data is memorized and logged in digital server, so we can use this data to perform other service, like we can send some coupons, send some broadcasting, registration, and even doing the telemedicine, of course. So that's a roughly idea for you. And if you are interested, please welcome to contact us or contact Jackie to know more information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Baron's introduction. So, is any question? If you can raise your hand or just turn on your mic to ask question or put your question on the chat. Okay, if no, this is our last section today. So we will send out the questionnaire to everyone here, and also with the all the solution deck today. Once you feel any interested in today's any solutions, after you can let me know, and I will set up another one by one section for you. Okay, so thanks everybody's join. Thank you.